Hey, BassGeek here, and bass fishing's got a new category of bait altogether. That's right, geeks. Bass fishing has a new category of baits. Now, these baits probably aren't going to be new to a lot of salt guys. I know I've seen some of them being used by some bass guys over the past few years, but you haven't really seen them getting used a lot, or at least talked about a lot on the bass fishing side of things. Look at this. So in this box from Flambeau, my Z-Rust Max, by the way, not sponsored by these guys. Love these boxes. They are affordable and they have saved me a lot of money over the years because of the Z-Rust. They're the first ones to ever come out with a anti-rust product. These entire boxes are coated with it. So the tabs and the boxes are coated. So what am I talking about? I've got a few different things in here, but overall, these are kind of unusual minnow style baits. Now, not jig head minnows. What we're actually talking about and what is in this box are things like this. This is the Bay Rough Seek 85 in some freshwater colors. This is a saltwater bait that Duo Realis has now come out with. You guys have seen that video, by the way. Stay till the end and you can see a really in-depth video on this particular bait right here. But this bait has some incredible action to it. This is probably some sort of ghost gill or perch. Now listen, I don't remember all the names of the colors on these, and they make them, each company makes them in a ton of different colors. Like I said, I'll show you another really natural color right here that I like to use when it's dead slick calm and high sun. Now each company really has a unique action. Some of them you can get to walk, some of them are just going to turn sort of like that. They're just going to pivot as you're twitching them in. And that's what I call these baits, are twitch baits. These are really saltwater baits, but they're pretty incredible. Now, Bill Lewis has come out with some, and you'll notice again, now they have them in 2-3 different sizes. This is a 3/8 ounce size. You can tell this is a pearl or a bone, whatever you want to call it there. But, you know, a little bit smaller, 3/8, you can fish in a little shallower water. But you'll notice all of them kind of have that thin at the tail, thin at the head, kind of a little bit of a fat body, and that's where you get that little twitch bait action. Most of them also have a nice little fall to them, a little bit of a wobble when you stop them and fall. Now, one of my favorite colors, again, I don't know what they call these. I'll put links in the description. Guys, make sure you go and bookmark that Tackle Warehouse link for me. But this is Bill Lewis also. This is called the Depth Strike, by the way. Sorry, I know I didn't tell you that name, but they're called the Depth Strike. And this is like their ghost minnow. Love this color. And again, you can really see it on here. You've got sort of that skinny tail, skinny head, really pronounced body. Now this one's a little bit different. The action on this is a little bit different. It's again got a great little shimmy as it falls, but this is from Lucky Craft. This is the Wonder 95. This is a 3/4 ounce bait. What's great about these baits is you can get them down. They do sink pretty quick, and you can get them down there, and they're just very erratic underwater. And I believe this is my favorite color by them in the Ghost Minnow. And to be perfectly honest, this is a 3/4 ounce right here, and it's probably one of my very favorite, if I can put it in this category, just simply because of how well it will glide side to side. And this is a 3/4 ounce. I think this may be in a Ghost Minnow also, but this is the Finisher by Berkeley Baits. And I'll tell you, you've been using these pretty much all year from spring to winter, and so far I've been extremely impressed with the action on this bait. Now on this bait, you can see it's a little bit different where you got more of a snub nose, and that line tie is sideways. These baits are incredible for those open water bass, and every one of them has a little different action to them. And sometimes I just rotate through them because the bass will really tell you what they want. Now, of course, depth is very important. Size is very important. You can see another reason why I like the Finisher is they come in this 1/3 ounce size, and that has been stellar during the summertime, especially when you have a little bit of color to the water or a little bit of chop on the water. All of them have their very own unique action, and sometimes I'll rig these, especially the heavier ones, on a casting rod, but for the most part, because I like to get them down deep, I'll rig them up on a spinning reel. And I'll show you one of my setups that we're going to be demonstrating a couple of these today for you. I'll show you the setup that I like to use. So we're going to talk about where I like to fish these baits, and you geeks who don't have forward-facing sonar or who fish from the bank, or if you have submergent grass, you know, especially early spring before the grass grows up, these are some incredible baits to be able to fish over top of them. What I like about this style of bait, they're not a lip, so they're not a dives to this. You can count them down and get them to the depth you want to fish them at. And then it's going to take you some trial and error, getting out there and throwing it, learning how to keep it suspended above that cover or above that structure. You can learn how quickly you need to retrieve. We're going to show you kind of the retrieves I feel like are the best for each one of these. The Lucky Craft, the Finisher, the Seek 85, and the Depth Strike. So each one of these, we're gonna show you kind of what they are and what they look like in the water. Now, I'm gonna say I do generally tie either a loop knot, but if you don't want to tie a loop knot, you can just tie on a little clip, and that's what we're gonna do right now. Basically, I'm gonna tie on a pit seam knot. We're just gonna wrap it 5 to 7 times. You're going to pass it through that top loop and then moisten it all the way down so it slides. We're going to take our scissors, trim that tag end down, and we're ready for bait number 1. Now, for demonstration purposes, I would take the split ring off if I was putting this on, but for demonstration purposes, don't complain, people. It will work just fine. I've already used these, I know. So let's talk about rod, reel, and line setup now. You can go 2 different ways. This is the way I like to throw it because I do use it for forward-facing sonar a lot. It'll actually work great with a jerkbait style rod. If I was going to use it on a bait caster, that's what I would use. This is a new Douglas rod. I picked some of these up. This is the Matrix. This is one of their high-end rods. This is a 7.4. I'm scanning at about 120 feet out, and so I want to be able to make a long cast, so I love this 7.4. Now, for some of you, you may want to go with a 6.8. They actually make like a 6.8 in this. I'll put a link down in the description for all of these. But this new Douglas rod, so far, I've been pretty impressed with. And that's what we're going to use today. This is my go-to rod on this. This is rated 3/8 to 1 ounce. So it's going to be able to handle pretty much anything in that box. And this is what I've got it dedicated for. This is, reel-wise, this is a favorites. They don't make this Rush reel, which I really do like. I will put a comparable reel in the description below. And of course, we're using our 10-pound K9 braid to our 8-pound K9 Pro 100 fluorocarbon. Now, I don't have one on now, but make sure you check out those rod covers in the description too. So when we're talking about the twitch baits, no matter what ones, except in my opinion, the Seek 85 by Duo and the Finisher, those are the only 2 that really have a couple of different retrieves. For the most part, when it comes to the Bill Lewis version and the Lucky Craft version, they're really twitch baits. They're just going to be erratic. There's no rhyme to the reason, and there's 2 retrieve types for them, which is actually the same for the Finisher and the Duo Reality. They are either casting it out there, holding your rod tip down, and just twitching. Now, when I say twitching, these baits really work best if you just barely touch them. Get them to make that small erratic movement. You're not moving them a lot. You're keeping them at the depth. You're moving them just enough to keep them at the depth you want them to stay. And a lot of that's going to depend on the weight you're using also. Now, the Finisher and the Seek are a little bit different. The Finisher, we can really get a good side-to-side walk the dog when we put the rod tip down and really hit it and feed line back. The Seek, on the other hand, you can get it to do the BR walk, but you're going to hit it up. So you're going to come in an upward motion to get that same motion. To get the scissor, what I call the scissor motion, the cross motion, where it's really pivoted in the middle, you're going to take your rod tip down. Now, when you pull your rod tip up on the Finisher, you're going to get more of an erratic side to side, back and forth. It's going to be extremely erratic, but it moves very well. These baits are not jerk baits, so there's not going to be a rhythm to most of them. The Seek and the Finisher, to me, are the two that I own that seem to have at least some sort of cadence or walk action that you can impart. The others, it's just random, erratic action, and you don't want to overwork them. That's the key to all of these baits. Now, when it comes to a hook set, all you're going to do is side set. You're going to keep them pinned, make sure your drag set well, because these are treble hooks. And that's important. You want these bass to be able to make a run when they can make a run, and you want to lean on them when you have to, but don't pull those treble hooks out. Getting them in the boat, again, treble hooks, I don't recommend thumbing them. Bow hop it if it's a dink. Don't reach out and grab it with treble hooks. It's only going to be a bad day for you if they shake loose. Otherwise, get the net or get your partner to get the net. Take your time, get them in the boat, keep your hands dry, and keep yourself safe. So when it comes to these twitch baits, really it's all about what the bass want. It's about showing them something different. It's, about being able to get those treble hooks down there, not just a jig head minnow. And this bait works extremely well in the wintertime, in the spring, and in the fall. That's when I really seem to do my best with these style hard baits. Now remember, just like today, you want to have a little bit of chop on the water. It's a hard bait. They'll work in clear water, but to me, even though it's a bluebird sky, I like that we've got just this little amount of chop. It's going to break it up. It's going to make that bite so much better. If I had to pick two favorites, my two go-tos, again, are probably the Finisher and the Seek 85. So the Finisher from Berkeley, the Seek 85 from Duo Realis. Definitely two of my favorite in what I'm going to call the twitch bait genre of baits. Something that I've been playing with for about the past year now, maybe a little bit more than that. Guys, make sure you go check them out. Add them to your arsenal. Again, links down there in the description. Tackle Warehouse links. We're back with Tackle Warehouse, so help us out, bookmark that anytime you go to buy anything. Doesn't cost you anything, just helps the channel out. Helps us put gas in this thing and in that truck so we can get out here on the water. Because you know us, we don't do anything sitting at the house or in a shop. We come out here on the water, we test it, we try it, we look at it, we fish it, and we talk about it. Go see a single video where we're not out here on the lake playing with these baits. So check out these two baits. One's for the Finisher and one's for the Seek. If you want to check those out, go right here. Questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. Thank you, geeks, for letting us live the dream. We appreciate you, and you geeks rock for that.